get that iron out today. Gonna get that wax on and off. Alright, so before we get started, there are going to be a few things you are going to need for this. So to start off, you're going to need some base cleaner or some citrus cleaner. You're going to need an iron, some wax, a scraper, a set of brushes. This is going to be from your horsehair, nylon, and a brass brush. If you don't want to spend the money on that, you can easily, same thing, go to your local dollar store, pick up a scoring pad. It's going to, same thing, kind of give you that nice sort of smooth finish, not as professional as it would be as if you had the brushes. So now, once you've got all that, let's get that clock going and let's begin. So what you're going to want to do first is you want to get that base cleaner. You'll put on a rag or even spray it on depending on what kind of application you have, and get it prepped for taking in all that wax. Now once you've done that, let it dry for a few minutes. You don't want to put the wax on while it's still kind of wet. You do want the board at room temperature as well. So once you've done all that prep work, what you take your iron, turn it on. Now generally I put mine at around 130 degrees. Usually it's about between 120 130. I just kind of like to go onto the higher end of things. So then once you actually start doing this, you're going to take the iron, hold the wax on an angle like this, and you're going to kind of make like a nice zigzag motion all the way up and down your ski or snowboard. You don't need to cover the entire ski or snowboard with this. The reason for that is once you actually start massaging or heating the wax up, it's going to spread it out a lot more evenly. If you've done that, you're going to take the iron, hold it flat against your skier board, and you're going to go up and down lengthwise. You don't want to put a lot of pressure into it. You don't need to push down. You'll notice that the iron itself will start sliding a little bit more depending on how thick the wax is. So if you have a nice even coat, it's going to slide back and forth very easily. Make sure you go tip to tail. So then once that's all done, what you're going to want to do is let the board or skis cool for a minimum of 10 minutes. You want to come back to about room temperature before you start scraping it. You need to let that base absorb as much wax as possible. Now, once you've actually let it sit for about 10 minutes, you have two options. You could either A, re-massage to allow the base to absorb more of the wax, or you can just move on to the next step and start scraping it off. You grab a plastic scraper. Now, the way I hold it is I kind of hold it on an angle like this, and I push away from myself. Now, once you've done all that, you can run your hand over your bases and just to see if you have any, uneven spots, and then just make sure that it's all nice and smooth before you move on to the next step, which is pretty much the cleaning phase. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be using a scoring pad. So if you're on a bit of a budget, you can do this. You get a pretty similar finish for a fraction of the cost. Now what you're going to do here is just take it and just kind of go up and down the length of your skier board, clean it up really nicely. What this is doing is it's kind of getting rid of more of that excess wax. And then to finally finish it off, just take a rag, paper towel, and just the kind of almost like a polishing finish is what you're going to do. Alright, that's how to wax your skis or snowboard. So now just to keep in mind that if you really want the most performance out of your gear, you're going to want to wax every 4 or 5 times out. But general rule, you could also just like look at your bases. If it has that sort of chalky look to it, it's a good sign that you do have to wax. So that's it for me for today. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. If you like this video, hit that button. Subscribe if you have not already. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video.